Yo, it's Captain doing a super fast Star Rail Captain's Log 2.3-4. But really, it's probably gonna be my thoughts on the whole thing because we finished it today. We got through the pay your respects section and the pick your next destination section, and we even like did all the wrap up and played with the sticker book and for too long and and did the event, like it started the event and stuff. So I just wanted to give my quick thoughts on it, my off the cuff thing. First thing we did, I'll go in order. First thing we did was the big pay your respect section because that's really the ending. That's really the ending. There's like a little tiny little bonus where you pick your next destination, but really the ending is you're paying your respects to everybody, and it was touching. Right, I was a little worried. You're going to some graves of the previous Nameless. I was like, is this going to be heavy? Is this going to be boring? Is this going to be like cringe? And it wasn't. It wasn't too bad. It wasn't too bad. You may still thought it was, but overall, I thought it was nice. They gave like a nice little send off to each of the previous Trailblazers, even Gallagher, even Micah, who you find out if you talk to him, he's not real either. He's not real either. And which kind of explains what's been going on. You can live on in the dream longer than your body can. So Micah straight out says it, oh, my body's been long gone, but I'm still here. So that's probably how Gallagher worked, right? That's probably how it probably explains all the time strangeness. But yeah, and then you give your big send off to the watchmaker, and each person in the train gang gets to do like a little toast to each one. You get to use the drink that you made earlier in the patch, and I don't know, it was nice. It had nice things to say about each one, but really, like the themes of this whole chapter, all of Penacony, has been like dreams, but dreams are also death, right? So there's been a theme of death the entire time, and what it means to sleep, and what it means to prepare for dying, right? And what it means to, live or avoid living, right? And is avoiding living different than death, right? Because that's what the dream is. People go into the dream to escape living. Well, they might as well be dead, right? People go, and then people talking about, and then Aventurine having a death wish, Acheron being like the actual Grim Reaper, leading people, on from their, on to the death, right? Right? Just Firefly having to die 3 times, right? It's just always around there. So actually having a scene where we go to the previous Trailblazers because they were so important. It really was, like I said this before, it's really the previous Trailblazers stories. We're just finishing it up because we wouldn't be there without the Watchmaker legacy, him waiting for the next set of Trailblaze and leaving something for them to finish his life's work of saving Penacony. And Acheron wouldn't be there without Tiernan with his last final dying regret to move on, which she helps people do, to check on Penacony and make sure it's okay. And those two groups were instrumental to saving Penacony and fixing it and finally getting it to where it needs to be. So it's really the previous Trailblazer story, and then we just finish it off. And so there's this passing of the torch. There's this idea of legacy, right? You die, your story ends, but things go on, right? You had things from the previous generation, the previous people, right? You have the blessings because things are already started, and then you have the responsibility to like pass that on to the next generation. And the idea is the trailblaze never dies, right? Because it always lives on. But all sorts of things fit into that. You know what I mean? So it's like, so here we are having these like grave scene where we kind of come to terms with that, and March has like some trouble with it, and they even take some time to just kind of have a little conversation about it. And it's like, what is this? You could be like, what is this scene? But it actually fits in Penacony because that's what Penacony's all about. what Penacony is all about. It's about life and death and what it means to be in one and what it means to have the other. And one of the major themes is like a bunch of people answering, why we're dreaming, what's the point, like how we're preparing for death, and and then like one of the bigger theme being, well, we do it, you know, because we can like live. I've forgotten how they said it now. But it's like you're preparing, but the idea is you're living properly because you're preparing for death, right? It's like we know we're going to get there, but the journey that we take is ours, right? We may be fated to a certain end. This is like the Firefly story. You may be fated to a certain end, but you'll make your own choices on the way, and that colors the ending. That comes up several times. The ending is colored by the journey, and they even repeat that once again because you have a little final optional scene with Acheron, and she really focuses on that. So you say goodbye to everybody, and then and they have this really nice conversation about legacy and how this works and your place in all this, in the death and life thing, and then you finally finish up with Acheron, and she goes into all that one more time because she's like the Reaper, dude. She leads people forward, and you get to have like, and she's also kind of like a meta character. Like there's things she knows like outside the story, and you get to have like a little conversation, like really dig in now that it's all over. And if you, it's like an optional conversation, and if you do one of the optional dialogues with her, I mean, you're not gonna miss it, but like if you just have to go do it, and then she goes into all that. She goes into like really just driving it home, and like, yeah, the ending is predetermined. We are all gonna get annihilated, but what you do on the way is what's important. That's the journey is what's important. And then she's just like a little blessing, like, may do you take your journey, do your trailblaze, all that. And it has this awesome scene where it does the art for her, and then it fades to the Acheron you see to the Acheron that she is. And she's like, I know at the end we'll get past nihility and we'll be in the warm sunlight. And you see her like what she was from the animation with like the Oni horns and the traditional garb. And you see like that's yeah, the implication to me at least was that's the real Acheron. And that's what she's fighting for. She's fighting through all this to get to the life at the end. She's like fighting death to have a better ending, you know. But she drives it home again. It's the journey. It's not right. Like you're gonna get there in the end, but how you get there is what's important, because that sets the tone. That like defines the ending. Is faded, but not defined, not colored, not anything. And then your journey and everything you do on the way, that's what does it. So that's, these are the kind of bigger themes of Penacony that they keep driving home. And I don't know, I really love the whole thing. So this whole scene, this whole like graveside scene was very appropriate. It was almost like, well, of course they have to do this. It's not just like some weird, we're gonna have a sad scene because we need to have a sad scene because somebody died. No, it's like, of course you need this. Like this is the exact right place to put it. It fits with all the themes. And I said at the beginning of all this that was like, this is a very ambitious story. There's a lot of moving parts. They are going all over the place, and if they pull it off, it's going to be really cool. And if not, it's going to be like, ooh. But I think after it's all said and done, seeing how all the things weave together, seeing how like the themes are always there, the motifs are always there, like, right, they're always drilling it home. And not everything was perfect, obviously, but as far as taking all these wild stories, this spaghetti story that going off in all these directions, and finding a way to get them to tie together to like weave the tapestry of the story, like the narrative design, they pulled it off. For me, they pulled it off. It felt good. Everything coming together, everything fitting in, everything, lining up with the story that they were trying to tell, and contributing like a little piece of, the message they wanted to get across. not like a weird messaging type of thing, but like in a narrative truth, you know, in a character discovery, in a life journey type of like message of how things, how people live and how we go through it. You know, that kind of the theme of Penacony, dreams and sleep and death and living, and it's, I don't know, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. Penacony, to me, is amazing. It's at least as good as the first chapter, which was the best chapter so far, and a spectacular chapter. Um, and this epilogue really just finished it off and made it quite nice. Just kind of tied up everything, gave you like a little look back at everybody. Even got the final scene is even with Black Swan, where she appears and she's like, "Here, I'll tell you where to go next." And you're like, "I guess we just gotta deal with her now." So you got to see like everybody. It just was so satisfying. It was a very chill epilogue. This whole 2.3. But I think we needed it. It was just so much big, crazy story that we've been having. This was like a nice, chiller, shorter one. Get to say goodbye to everybody. Get to wrap everything up in a pretty little bow and give you some things to think about and just, you know, really leave that lingering memory in your mind of like, man, that was something. Something for you to like chew on and reminisce about and be nostalgic about. Even Rosaline, even the final Nameless got a shout out if you do your sticker book. Even Rosalina was like, "Yeah, I was there too." And then it goes silent because they're all gone. It's just like even the dang sticker book fit into this story of Trailblaze legacy and moving on through death and life. You go like, what? Even the sticker book. And I had a lot of fun with the sticker book. I had way too much fun with the sticker book today. So I don't know. It was great. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I am leaving Penacony with a smile on my face. Very hopeful, looking forward to the future. Because like, to me, like I said it on stream, but this 2.0 chapter 3, this was like their sophomore album, right? Like, okay, you put out a great album, everybody loved it, but did you just have one album in you, or are you a band that's gonna last? And this sophomore album, your second one, is what can indicate that. You know, if you nail that too, people are like, all right, you guys are good. You guys are gonna be around. And that's how I feel about this chapter 3. It's like, yo, this was maybe their best one, at least as good as their previous best one. I think the game's gonna stick around. I think they got things to say. I think this is good, and I'm looking forward to the future. Looking forward to 3.0 chapter 4, but and all the fun little interims in between, because it'll probably be next year for that happens. But I said this could be a short one. I was wrong. I was wrong. I had more to say. You know what? I had more to say. So hopefully you enjoyed this slightly short captain's log and thoughts on the end of Penacony. I could say a lot more, but I'm trying to keep the video shorter. So I hope you enjoyed. I hope it was fun listening, watching, whatever you did. I hope you enjoyed this little journey with me through Penacony, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. And I'll catch you in the next one. Goodbye.